court has asked the centre to reply on the steps being taken to increase the supply of medical oxygen to Delhi to 700 metric tons in wake of rising COVID cases, while rejecting centre's argument that the national capital will be able to manage with 500 metric tons of oxygen, staying the Delhi High Court's contempt action against centre's officials over non-supply of ample oxygen to the city as per the top court order. A two-judge bench of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice M.R. Shah observed that putting officers in jail will not bring oxygen to Delhi, while noting that centre's expert panel comprising of Dr. V.K. Paul, Dr. Randeep Guleria and Directors General of ICMR and Health Services were already looking to rationalise supply of oxygen on a pan-India basis. While the Delhi High Court will continue monitoring the on-ground situation of other aspects related to COVID treatment in the city, the Apex Court will tomorrow examine centre's reply on what action is being taken to provide 700 metric tons of oxygen to Delhi. Observing that no one can deny reports of deaths of patients over lack of oxygen, the top court sought to know the mechanism to deal with this national emergency. It also questioned centre's assumption of need of only 500 metric tons of oxygen in Delhi, asking that how did it arrive to the conclusion that all ICU beds and only half of non-ICU beds will require oxygen. The bench held that a general assessment cannot be conducted as the state-wise pandemic scenario and peaking of cases is different, stressing upon its answerability to citizens. The court said that it cannot remain oblivious to the oxygen shortage in Delhi, even if the High Court is hearing the case, and asked the centre to explain the day-wise oxygen allocation to Delhi after the 2nd of May. While centre had submitted that Delhi got 483 metric tons of oxygen on the 3rd of May and 585 metric tons of oxygen on the 4th of May, the bench sought an upfront display for oxygen arrivals in Delhi's virtual control room to ensure regular updates to its citizens. The court asked the centre to rationalise tanker supply and create oxygen storage tanks in the national capital, while reminding the union government that provisions of the Disaster Management Act allow it to waive off tenders and ensure a steady supply of oxygen imports till local production rises. Lauding the BMC's work in managing a large number of COVID cases, the court suggested that centre and Delhi's Health Secretary may have a meeting with Iqbal Singh Chahal to chalk out a pandemic control plan akin to the successes in a large metropolis like Mumbai. The court noted that Mumbai's oxygen consumption was 275 metric tons even at the high active caseload of 92,000 on April 10, and the city was able to manage with such high cases due to a proper institutional framework, as centre had claimed that increasing Delhi's oxygen supply